So Kelly and I are here on the 5th floor of Margaritaville here in Orlando, Florida. We've been tasked with doing photo and video for tonight's event. We have been for the past few days really getting after it in regards to doing photo and video. So as we move into 2025, I started thinking a little bit in regards to how 2024 ended up being a successful year for Lowell Productions. And quite frankly, a lot of the income and projects that I ended up picking up were event gigs. Now today's video specifically, we're going to talk about corporate events. Now some of you might go, what is that? Some of you might thrive in those spaces, but this would be a little bit more of an informational video in regards to how myself and partnering up with others have been able to capitalize on the corporate side of event coverage in regards to delivering photo and video. All right, so we pretty much getting towards the end of day two. Day two, more shooting indoors. You guys can see Kelly's kind of hunkered down doing some editing right now. This has kind of been our, I guess you could say, a little editing area. Then we've also come out here. This is kind of the, I guess you could say, just like meet and greet break area. Also, you have a couple of vendors that are back here. So, been shooting some B-roll in here, but the main room is in here. Now, each day they requested that we would deliver photos that would be on like a slideshow that would run before the event, where they were actually doing kind of more of their speaker events and a lot more of the actual talking. So we actually decided if we're going to be there filming video and photo, might as well just give them a taste of what the video looks like. Because on day one, I honestly went around the property, filmed some of the kind of different spaces, and then filmed some of their actual attendees interacting, and the footage looked great. So Kelly and I decided for that next day recap, we weren't gonna just do photo, we were gonna do a hybrid of photo and video. Now, if you're wondering what that might look like, or kind of what a product would be deliverable to that type of client, what we came to find is rather than this quick cut recap, yada yada, they actually enjoyed some of the raw footage. So imagine seeing 3 or 4 minutes of raw footage of people golfing, interacting, playing games, hugging, all that good stuff. And then you would maybe go to a minute of photos that also touched on that particular event as well. Now, this was what we kind of stepped and repeated every single day for them. It was actually a 3-day event. Now, the reason that these types of groups are willing to pay for this is not only just to document the event itself and the people attending it that they can then showcase later to kind of say, hey, this is why I should be here, but also for the attendees being able to see almost in real time them, what they've been doing, who they've been interacting with. It's really unique, as what you'll find is when you show up on day one, people are kind of wondering why is a video team and a photographer here, but then they see themselves the following morning on the screen and they're like, oh wow, look at that. A lot of them will come up to you, hey, can I get that footage? And this is where you kind of gotta have a discussion with the client of how they want to go about dispersing all that. A lot of times what Kelly and myself would do would just be, we'd put everything in a Google Drive and let the client disperse it the way they would like. Sometimes it gets a little weird if you take it in your own hands and start dispersing stuff. So that's kind of our go-to strategy is we take all the final deliverables, we put them in a Google Drive, send that email off to the client. And then at that point, via their phone or email, they have access to everything we've documented. Now, so you got to figure these people, attendees, start seeing themselves, which is great because it's good footage. It's very complementary to the environment and what they're up to. So then you go in on day two and these people are a little bit more excited. And this is where I find you can start interacting with people more. You can kind of, say, hey, did you see yourself up on the video screen earlier? Love to get some more footage of you. And this is kind of the evolution of these events and how they go. Now, I will say, this particular group and some of the actual corporate groups, they're not looking for the most over-the-top, ridiculously beautiful shots. A lot of times, they just want what's true to life, what's going on, what are the interactions that are being had, the smiles, the hugs, the congratulations, the award giving. That's really what they're looking for. I think sometimes many of us think that these people want this over-the-top, ridiculously cinematic thing, And the problem with that is sometimes that's not like true to life in regards to like what's going on. Of course you can make it is the event, it is the people, it is the interactions, but I think it's more of the balance between the quick turnaround and the authenticity and it looking quality, which of course with the cameras that we were shooting with, any time we were actually filming speakers, it was either with the GH5 or the GH7, and then all the B-roll that you guys have seen was shot single-handedly on the Lumix S5 2X, which we're currently filming with. Now, as far as photography went, Kelly was rocking a Nikon. I don't know exactly which one, but he had 2 of those, and he was doing all the photography himself. You can see him kind of going off to the side, doing some editing, things of that nature, and of course, it was hilarious to make fun of him with this Ghostbuster outfit. Kelly officially looks like he's a Ghostbuster, but he's not.
This is my flabbergaster.
Flabbergaster.
Gets all the ghosts, keeps them in there later, you know.
You never know, backpack boy. One thing you have to kind of keep in mind with these types of events, with these corporate gigs, is a lot of times they're going to be indoors doing speaking engagements, and then they'll go out and do more entertaining types of little like gatherings and stuff like that. So our kind of strategy is obviously we're at every type of speaking thing plus and rolling in the back of the room. Which, side note, one thing that I've come to find, and you can see it right here, is I use my Zoom H6 with the XLR input, and then I've got a V-mount battery that's here powering it. Now, this is how I get my source of audio for any speeches that are I kind of do a full run of show, just set up a camera on the sticks, let it freaking roll. And, you know, a lot of these clients, they don't expect a full run of show, but if you have it in your back pocket, they are very thrilled. And sometimes you'll end up being able to pull out some good sound bites that you can also use for like recaps and things of that nature. So this is kind of the audio setup. And as mentioned, these are the camera setups, cameras in the back of the room, rolling pretty much the whole time. Yes, it's sucking up card space and battery, but it's one of those things where they see it and they know that it's actually being recorded. I don't know, they get very excited just to know that they have it. And of course, we end up downscaling it to 1080p, send that file as well into that Google Drive, and that lives there as well. One thing I would say with these types of gigs is being very adaptable. You gotta say yes to just about everything they're doing, whether it's going to the golf course, whether it's going to the bar, whether it's staying up late for their cocktail hour, whether it's going up on the 9th floor to get a photo and some video of their entire staff and team at the venue space. These are things that we've found really kind of separate us from others, as having basically a smile on our face, an approach of absolutely, we will at least try, and we're more than happy to do whatever you're willing to kind of put on our plate, as long as it's not against the law. That's probably what I'm looking for. So 2025, event coverage, corporate gigs, things of that nature. I think you guys should keep an eye out of where you can fill that void, because I don't think it takes as much skill set as like a branding shoot, things of that nature. I think it takes a hustle mentality, a smile on your face, and a willing to probably over deliver a little bit, knowing that it'll come back tenfold when you're getting that repeat client every year. You're in for 3 days, you wham, bam, you're done and you're out, you get your money, and you establish a good relationship with people that are probably people and clients and companies that are going to be around for a long time. So that's a little testimony on just one of the corporate gigs that I had this year. Not bragging about the footage by any means, just trying to showcase you guys of what could be a standard that you could achieve in 2025 yourself or with others. And that's why I want to share this little testimony in regards to corporate events. We haven't done much BTS, but we got Kelly doing some wide shots here from the balcony.
That's right, buddy.
Of Margaritaville, baby. Mr. Wide, Mr. Worldwide. That actually is a beautiful view, man.
Of me?
Both. Double whammy. Ouch.
Like 3 or 4 shots.
Final day.